If you're wondering how much confidence MAGA Mike and congressional Republicans are instilling in the GOP across the country, here's a sneak peek.
Congress is not getting anything done. We haven't passed a balanced budget in Congress since the 90s. Bill Clinton was the last time that we actually had a balanced budget.
When the Republican governor of Oklahoma sounds like a Democrat praises a Democratic president, you know the GOP is in trouble. Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma, Republican through and through, went on air and talked about how Bill Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. I never thought I would hear a Republican, a GOP member, praising the Clintons anytime soon, but he's absolutely right. And the fact is, he's calling out the dysfunction of Congress, their inability to not only balance the budget, but do anything that is actually helpful for the American people. I mean, healthcare premiums have expired, and not only are we not seeing any amazing GOP proposal, we're seeing no proposal whatsoever. So apparently their plan was just to allow American healthcare premiums to go up, which is resulting in a lot of people just not signing up for healthcare. Those same people will get sick. Many people get sick with unlikely illnesses, heart attacks, cancer, things that they maybe couldn't afford the premium, but they're certainly not going to be able to afford the care that they need for those illnesses. So many people will go out without preventive care. The fact is the GOP, Mike, has just lost control over it. He lost control over it with the Epstein files. Of course, as we know, Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie were able to force that through the discharge petition. He lost control over the tariffs. And enough Republicans passed a resolution against the Canadian tariffs. He hasn't been able to do and pass anything beneficial for the American people.
My goal in my last year as governor is to make sure that I'm joyful, that I'm the light, that I don't get bitter, because politics has a way of just beating you down over time. And so I can't even imagine being the president of the United States. So it is... He's got a tough job to do, and you'd have to ask him those questions. But I think the American people want a president to give us real solutions, right? Let's stop the fighting. What are the real solutions? I tell people, some of my friends, when I'm back home, I'm like, it feels like we're a car racing towards a cliff, and right now my party's driving, and the Democratic Party's in the passenger seat, and we're fighting over the control of the radio. And our car is racing towards the cliff here. And then, in 3 years, we may have a Democrat driving and the Republicans will be in the passenger. And we'll still be fighting over what's on the radio. Congress is not getting anything done. We haven't passed a balanced budget in Congress since the 90s. Bill Clinton was the last time that we actually had a balanced budget.
A former governor.
So we literally have a crisis that's facing us, and nobody seems to be talking about it. So those are the things I think the American people want solutions on.
He also sounds like a Democrat when it comes to immigration, because Trump is way underwater with immigration. People are horrified across the political spectrum about what's happening on the streets. They see ICE murdering American citizens, rounding up children and families. He talks about how we need to get rid of violent criminals. Well, the fact is, violent criminals are known because by nature, they have been convicted of a violent crime. Newsom has talked about for years, California always cooperated with the federal government and would help deport people after they served their prison sentence. It is not difficult to find people who are convicted criminals. They have by nature been through the system and are known. That's not the point of what Trump is doing. His idea of rounding people up, one, he likes the theater of it. He does want to scare people. He does want to discourage people, and specifically Hispanic and people of color, from coming. Also, he wants to enrich his oligarch friends who are making out huge with the $45 billion contract for detainment centers. There's no reason to detain people you can just hire more judges and deport them quicker. So this GOP governor from Oklahoma, of all places, sounds like a Democrat when he's talking about immigration, because the Democrats' approach to immigration is just more popular and more just.
Governor, you are also the head of the National Governors Association, so I do want to ask about what's going on in Minnesota. I'm sure you've seen the video, maybe multiple videos of Alex Preddy being shot and killed by federal Border Patrol agents, the second fatal shooting by federal officials in Minnesota this month. Governor Walz is demanding President Trump stop the crackdown there. Are you comfortable with what the Trump administration is doing in Minnesota?
Well, first off, this is a real tragedy. And I think the death of Americans, what we're seeing on TV, it's causing deep concerns over federal tactics and accountability. Americans don't like what they're seeing right now. But I want to step back for just a second, because President Trump was elected to fix immigration issues. And, there was broad agreement that we had to close the border. So the Biden era of 4 years of open border policies was disastrous. So broad agreement, President Trump closed the border, promised to get violent criminals out of our country. And I think everybody agrees with that. But now Americans are asking themselves, what is the end game? What is the solution? And, we believe in federalism and state rights, and nobody likes feds coming into their state. And so what's the goal right now? Is it to deport every single non-U.S. citizen? I don't think that's what Americans want. We have to stop politicizing this. We need real solutions on immigration reform. And I believe that I've got a great solution, that we should give the states the authority to do workforce permits, right?
So are you saying that they should pull out of Minnesota?
Well, I think that the president has to answer that question. He is a deal maker, and he's getting bad advice right now. The president needs to let the American people, what is the solution? How do we bring this to conclusion? And I think only the president can answer that question because it's complicated. We have to enforce federal laws, but we need to know what is the end game. And I don't think it's to deport every single non-U.S. citizen. I think we need employers and employees. If you're not on welfare or government assistance or Medicaid, we need to allow an employer to match up with that workforce. Maybe charge that employer $5,000 that can pay down the national debt and to incentivize them to hire Americans. But if they need that labor, we're overcomplicating this. Other countries have figured this out. Don't give them U.S. citizenship. But if you're going to have an employer-employee relationship, we should be fixing that instead of politicizing this. And right now, there's tempers are just going crazy, and we need to calm this down.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.